Hey everyone, this is our seed scanning room. You can see here, got our cardboard fatigue mat set up, and this is a computer that we run it. What I'm going to walk through here is how to get set up to be successful in this process, and I'm going to demonstrate a workflow that you can use in order to efficiently move through samples and do it in a way where we're going to try to reduce the number of mistakes that we might make. I didn't mention this because it was already running, but to turn on and off the barcode scanner, you just hold down the trigger here. And there's actually a red dot in the center here, and that's how you can be aiming it at the QR codes. Turn on the monitor here for this computer, and this computer is running Linux. It's running Ubuntu. First, we're going to log in. Password is right here, Diversity 101. Prompt you to log in again. Click on Activities in the top left here, and then I'm going to come down. Click on Terminal. Okay. If you're not familiar with Terminal, that's fine. Basically what we're doing is we're running the computer with this command line. I'm going to open up a new window, and I'm just going to drag these around so that they're about 80 to 90 by 16. Now what we're going to do is, clicking in this left window, we're going to scan this QR code here. Scan it in, hit enter. Now we have the file path, so we know where we're going to be working. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So now that we have the file paths mapped here, show you is where this is in the computer. So we're going to do Activities, Files, and then we're going to use the file directory to navigate to Documents. Start moving our way through here. Show you what this means relative to the file path. We clicked on Documents, then we're going to click on Seed Scanner, and then we're going to click on Scan Images, and then we're going to click on Evan. So we're in this folder, and every time that you come in and start scanning, for each day it's going to create a folder, so you can see these past days. I've renamed some of them based on the project and the rep that we were working in. Within each day, command line will do is set up folders for each scanner. So we have 8 scanners. So what we're going to do first, we're going to set up a reference image for each scanner, starting with white and going down to crimson. We're going to put down white, black, gray, and crimson. Pull the boxes down. Now that we have these all prepped, what we're going to do next is start scanning our scan command. So test.sh, there it is up there. So we're going to first scan the scanner name, gray. Then we're going to scan space, space. Then we're going to scan the packet, and I'm just going to type it in to start finish by scanning space. And then we're going to move to the next scanner. So again, we did test.sh. It's important to have that, otherwise it won't run these scanners. Scan white, space, type in white, space, black, space, type in black, space, gray, space, type in gray, space, crimson, space, and then type in crimson, and then space. Once I've done that, I'm going to run that command. And what this is doing is going to say run the white scanner, and on this scanner we typed in white, so that's the file name, but it typically would be a packet, a full QR code. So white with this packet, black with this packet, gray with this packet, crimson with this packet, and run them. And we should be able to hear these all start to run. So while that's going on, I'm going to get these set up. Same idea here, 4 scanners. Starting with green, yellow, blue, and orange. There's orange, blue, yellow, and green. Test.sh, green, space, type in green, space, yellow, space, type in yellow, space, blue, space, type in blue, space, orange, space, type in orange, space, and then run them. We always want to do it in that order. We want to start with green, go to orange, start with white, go to crimson, and I'll talk about why we do that. Now what I'm doing is I'm listening for when these will end. It takes about 2 minutes to scan the image at 1200 dpi, or dots per inch. You can think of that as pixels too. That's the resolution for these images. I'll show you in a moment, but we'll have seeds scattered along the scanner, so it's going to be moving along and capturing the image of all those seeds. Once it's finished here, it'll open up a new command line. Quickly here, I'm just going to show you all of these we want to check and make sure they're running. So those all are operational. We should have an image of each of them. And here we're ready to run the next command. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to wait for these to finish so that we can visually check and make sure they're each operational on the hardware side. And then on the software side, we're checking that we did get an image for each of these. And this is what we want to do when we start every single day, to make sure that the hardware and the software is set up so that we can successfully run our samples. Okay. Green, yellow, blue, and orange. Now, the reason we run them in this order is because we had an issue with this scanner where this cable in the back was loose. You can see that's why we tried to tape it to secure it in place, and it wasn't working correctly, and we were losing a lot of samples because of that. What I'm going to do now is that we have these off, being very careful not to touch the glass. I'm going to remove these, so it's a little bit difficult, but if you gently press on the back here, you should have enough of a lip to pick these up, and that's one reason why it's a good idea to wear gloves, just so we don't get our oils onto these scanners. Do the same thing here, pick them up, and I like to just keep these off to the side there. Okay, we now have a folder for today. So going into this folder, we see that we have each of the scanners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we have the contents of each of these folders. We have one item. So what we want to do is go into each folder and confirm that for each file we have the correct size image file. So there's black and black, blue. Remember, we typed in these names, and I'm glancing to the right here so I don't make you nauseous with the camera movement, but we have an intact file for each of these scanners. So again, the hardware is talking with the software. We've successfully scanned in these images, and we're essentially good to go. But the next thing we're going to do, and this is a really important protocol, is we're going to open a new window. So I just clicked on the drop down for the files. Essentially what you want to do is drag this down, and I'm going to show you why we do this in a second. Then what we're going to do now is just open up one more window. In this window, we're going to be monitoring the number of items in each one of these scanners. So this is just making sure all the scanners continue to capture images for the seeds. And so I'm going to set that up right underneath these terminal windows. And then underneath the terminal window, I'm going to set up a window that's going to monitor this last scanner in the sequence. So that's Crimson. So we're going to open up Crimson. We have that Crimson file. Set up a window to monitor the last scanner in this sequence, and that's Orange. So the reason we do this is when you start this side and you come to the machine to scan in your start command for the next side, if you refresh this, and I'll show you, we should see, if we sort by date modified, we should see the 4 scanners we just started jump to the top when we refresh. And that's what we want to see. And then when we come back, before we remove the sample off of this Crimson scanner, we want to make sure by refreshing Command R here that we in fact have an image for that sample. We do the same thing for Orange, and I'll show you how we work those checkpoints into the workflow, because that's going to make sure that we're not losing samples where we scatter a sample, we don't have the image, and we remove that seed, because then what we have to do is go back and get a new subsample, put it back on the scanner, run it again, and that's after we figure out that we are missing it. So this is a protocol that we set up to have quality assurance and quality control during the scanning.